Oh dear! Imagine if you just blew up right now. No.
Okay, testing 1 2 3 4. Testing 1 2 3 4. Let's see how we're sounding. Right, let's have a go, see if we can get this bird in the air then. So, first things first, let's just check we've got a few things working on the overlay. So the overlay should be EGLL to EIDW and 243 nautical miles. 77 feet, that should be the altitude at Heathrow. I think it's slightly different to that, but never mind, that will do for now. So we'll lose the overlay for a minute. Socials work, overlay and socials. Oh, here's a good thing to do. Don't forget. Right, okay, so we've a lot to do to get this bird flying tonight, and we should really crack on with that. So I've got the checklist that I work with, and if you've seen any of the streams that I've done before, not many people have, you can see what I worked through to get this thing in the air. So let's crack on and do that, otherwise we're going to be hours getting going. So right, okay, so we need to get back in the aircraft, and we're cold and dark, so we're going to do the whole thing from beginning to end, hopefully, but who knows, let's see. So right, so throttle lever we need to have at neutral. That's done. Engine master switches are all off. Engine mode selector is set to normal. Landing gear lever is set down. Park brake is off and on. Wipers, so we have to go over the top for that and check the wipers. Wipers are both off. Battery voltage, sorry, could have checked that while we were up there, is 26.4, needs to be 25.5 minimum. Batteries 1 and 2 are on, that's good. Ground power unit is available, and just lost an iPad that I do the checklist on. Let's have the external power on. Okay, and we need the batteries on as well. So there we go. Right, so we need to do the Apu Fire Test. So that's this. Now I'm not sure if we get the sound for this. Yep, that's good. Apu Fire Test is done. Apu Master goes on, and Apu Start goes on. Now what we want to do is to basically go around the aircraft and get the I keep getting these things not working that well for some reason. I don't know why that is. I don't know whether it's my mouse or what, so but these don't seem to be working as well for me as they used to. Now whether that's an update, don't know, but it's one to look out for. So right, okay, so we can do some of the lights here. So see, for some reason Yeah. There we go. And now we can go over to the left here and do these. Yeah, so I think what it is because, right, so I do the eCam displays. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know. Don't know what that is. Very strange. Now we want to put it down here and do the floodlights. I like all the lights on. Yeah, see, that's very strange. Very, very strange. Okay, so we've got that. We need to do the overhead integral lights. We'll call that done for now. Okay, so next steps then is to parking brake is on, flaps are up, speed brake is down, retracted. No white marker. Probe window heat is set. Nav and logo lights go on. Oh, sorry. Nav and logo lights go on. APU bleed goes on. Now we need to set the nav. 1, 3 and 2 in that order, I believe, is the way to do that. And strobe lights go auto. Strobe lights go auto. Seat belts go on. And no smoking goes on. Check the emergency exit goes to arm. And the annunciator light check, all lights on. No lights missing, so we know that all the warning lights are going to be working. Dome lights go to dim, which is there. Okay, anti-ice we don't need. On the wing or the engines, cabin pressure is set to supply crew goes auto. Ditching button is closed. Landing elevation is set to auto, and aircon as required. We're grooving. Okay, packs. So we want to make sure all the air conditioning units are on. That's done. Batteries are charging. Let's go and check that out. Electrics and batteries are charging. All pumps go on. So let's have all these on. And now we need to do a fire test on engine 1. There we go. And fire test on engine 2. Let me just oh yeah, it is coming through. That's good. Okay, right, good, right, focus. Now we need to check the electrical panel, so let's do that. Electrics are good. Ventilation panel, no white or amber lights above. Engine oil, check the quantity, so we want to check the engine oil, 24.3, must be above 23. Flight controls, check. So let's go to, while we're here, flight controls, left, right, up, down, and rudders. Rudders are good. Flight controls are good. Set barometer, right, let's go up here, and we want to set the barometer, which will be B, and let's have hectopascals. Set the QNH and cross check with the backup instruments done. Flight controls, constraints go on, and we set to arc and 10 nautical miles. VOR will probably be on 1, so we'll have that on now, and landing system is off. Altitude instruments are set, and we want to be set for initial stop altitude, which is 6,000 feet. Okay, we're doing good. Standby instruments we've checked. Anti-skid is on. Frequency set and check. So let's call up the tower. Heathrow clearance, let's do that now. We'll request up.
Heathrow clearance delivery, Ils Chart 1123 IFR to Dublin, ready to copy.
Weather radar goes on.
Takeoff runway 27 right climb and maintain 12,000 feet.
Switches go norm.
Frequency is 118.475 squawk 6337.
Engine oil, hydraulics check. Thrust levers are set idle. Read back that, acknowledge that.
Ils Chart 1123 cleared to Dublin Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 27 right climb and maintain
Engine master switches all off, engine mode selectors normal, spoilers retracted, disarmed. Flaps go up, parking brake goes off and on again. Okay, HC pilot transponder is set to standby. Oh, it is on for some reason, so don't know why that is. Right, contact ground services. Transponder and weather system goes sys 1. Right, so we're doing good. So we want to go to the MCDU now, and we want to see what's going on there. So let's check what engines we've got. I'm expecting the 1A26s. That's jolly good. And now we need to go to init. So we've got the basics in there. So right, okay. So we need to go to MCDU, ATSU, AOC, and init, data request, and that pulls in the information there. Very good. That's all good. And now we can go back to init, and flight number will be. What will the flight number be? It will be EZ101. Cost index will have a 4. Not really sure how all that works. And now we need to go to our flight plan. Let me see if I can pull that up as well. Flight plan, sim brief. There we go. Right, so our flight plan, we want to know the top of the climb is 34,000 feet, and the temperature is M for minus 47. So we're going to go. So it's 34,000 feet. We can put this in. Oh, clear that. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 slash and minus 47. So that's some of the technical stuff done there. Let's just go back. Flight plan. What we need to do is just make sure, if we go to flight plan, so flight plan, and we're expecting to go out to Compton. Compton, that's that one. And Compton and Kennet. So we've got discontinuity there, so we can delete that. Clear. Let's get rid of that. That should be fine. And then we're going to go Angus, Peacock to just make sure we come into Ablin. Ah, right, okay. So that's not quite right. So what we want to do is go to pick the arrival, which should be ILS 28 left, and we should have the Ablin 2X arrival and insert. Okay, now go back to the plan and go up here. So I'm expecting to see, okay, Lampo, Oh yeah, that's right, that's right. So now we need to get rid of that discontinuity, and now what we need to do is go to basically check. Oh, we haven't got the plan yet, so we'll have to come back and check that in a minute. So right, let's crack on then. So if we pull up SimBrief again, and we want to do is just check our weights and measures. So payload is 18.6. So what we're going to do is divide that by 3, and that'll be 6,300. So let's go to weights and measures. Let's check the fuel actually first. So we could maximum we could take is 6.5. So we'll there's the fuel. Oh, let's get rid of SimBrief. Fuel. So we got 9.48. So we want to. What we can do actually. Let's just go back to the MCDU. And we can go to performance. Not performance. Program. Performance. MCDU, ATSU, AOC menu, performance, weight and balance. So we can load the fuel, and then we go next page across, and we can load the payload. Now we can see that we don't actually get what we want there. Well, actually that's not quite true. 4.9, yeah, so the fuels work, but the payload hasn't. So what we want to do is divide our 18.6 by 3. And the reason for that is that's going to be 6.3. So what we do here is delete all of these, and then what I do with forward, economy and baggage is put the total divided by 3 times, and then you can see hopefully we've got 18.9, so we're a little bit over actually. So what we can do is take 300 off of there. There we go, and now we're at 18.6. Done. Perfect. That's good. So our weight and balance is done, so we can now move on. Right, so we need to go to performance. Where are we? Performance, init. There we go. So we can cross one, bring that in, and our block fuel is 2.6. So okay, so that's good. All done. Now we can go to performance, and we need to put our flap information and temperature. So what we can do is go back to the MCDU and AOC menu, and we're going to get the weather. So we need to put in EGLL in there, and EIDW in there, and now let's send off a weather request. Okay, so now if we go up here, Control 3, we should get seatbelts no smoking. Did I not do that? Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, okay. So we should get a company message come through. There you go, company message. So we go back to the MCDU, and we go MCDU, ATSU, AOC menu. I don't know if there's a quicker way of getting to these. So we've got received message. Let's have a look at the meta. What we'll do is print that. But what we can tell is, so we've got a 260 10 knots. So we're going to have we're 27. So we're going to have a slight crosswind from the left. Visibility is good. Fuel 4,000 feet. 21 degrees. Dew point 15. So we want 21.15. So we go to performance. So our temperature is 21 degrees. We can add that, and we'll be flap 1. So we put 1 in, /, and we put up, because I like to take off up with 1.3. You can do this performance calculation, but this seems to work. Now we've got this information in, we can get our, by clicking this twice, we get our takeoff speed, so rotate speed there at 135. So that's good. Right, now what we can do here, we can go back and start doing some of the other bits and pieces that need doing. Right, so where are we? So standby instruments we've done. We can check that radios are set, so we're going to basically have our, just check that we've got our AI guy doing the where are we? We might get the AI to do the radio, not sure. So let's put the, we don't want the flight assistant there. So right, radios we're going to say set, anti-skid goes on, flaps set 1, speed brake arm, flight controls we've done, pitch trim, so now we need to go to 3, sorry, to this here, and we can see this bit here, the pitch trim, so we want to be up 1.3, so we've got down, up, .3. There you go, that's that done. Pitch trim, rudder trim, we come back, where are we, rudder trim, so if we go here, we can press that and reset the rudder. Autopilot is checked, auto thrust will come on, flight directors are on, lander system is off, anti-ice as required, FMC cleanup. Now that's just a little bit of a reminder to go back and check the flight plan. So we go to flight plan and we go plan here, and we can see this is where we are. So what we want to do is just click our way through just to make sure there's no discontinuity. There we go, off over Kennet, Abilene, Peacocks, Sylvia, Malad, and in. Yeah, okay, so that looks pretty good. So happy with that. So we can now go back to arc and 10 degrees, so which is what we want. Chocks removed. Right, now the other thing we need to do is to fire up the iPad. And it's time for a sip of tea. I also need to check Twitch because I'm trying to stream on Twitch as well, but I don't think it's gone very well. I don't think the players needs to be working, so I don't know whether I've got the right frame rate, broadband speed set for this, so it just doesn't seem to be working. It's just well, it does say it's live now, but I don't know why. Okay, so anyway, let's not bother with that. So we'll continue with YouTube for now. Right, okay, so the FlyPad is set up, so we can then have a look at what we want to do there. So we don't do that. I do use the descent calculator, so that's why I have that set up. Right, let's do some of the real business then. So what we can do is request, we'll request the pushback in a bit actually. Let's get some of the other bits and pieces on. Let's have the beacon on, because to tell people we're going to be starting the engine in a minute. External power goes off. Engine area is clear. Let's have a look. Engine area is clear. Engine mode goes to ignition. And engine 2 goes on. So we want to watch to make sure that we're increasing. So we want about 60 here and 20%. Yeah, so that should raise fairly quickly. Always good to check that your throttle is set to 0. Or so when I did move that to there was a bit of a click that I did wrong, so that's okay. So right, let's go back, have a check. Yep, increasing nicely, so that should come up to about 60 and about 20% here. So on N1, so this is good news. Right, so we can let's APU. Alright, so now we can all pressure's good, engine master is on, and now fire up 2, and we can just put the probe window heats on. Oh, it's already on. Only if we need that actually, so we don't actually need that because it's not cold outside at the moment. Let's go and have a look at what the engines are doing. So coming up at 24 of let's wait for the engines to get up to power. And we'll get ready for a pushback. So what I need to do is go to Navigraph and just pull up. Let's get this. So charts, open charts list. So just while the engines are starting, I'm pulling up the airport plan to see where I am. Okay, yeah. So we're going to push back and go via Kilo. We can. Have I got the? Okay, let's just make sure we've got the right flight in. EG out. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so so what we can do here is bring this down and have a look at the charts. No, we don't want to do that. Let's leave that alone for a minute. Let's continue with getting set up here. Otherwise we're going to get in a bit of a muddle there. So right, okay, so I've got the chart here on my other screen, so that's fine. Right, let's check the engine. So we should be both 20% and 69%, so that's okay, happy with that. Right, so now we can have engine mode goes to normal. Now when I tried this earlier on today, when I had a sudden loss of power. The generators went off, so APU bleed goes off. Let's keep an eye on these generators because I completely lost them earlier on. APU master goes off and auto brakes go to max, so we can have the auto brakes on max for takeoff. Let's have another look just to make sure that the engines are okay. Staying at 20, staying at 69, and up above the generator still on, so that's good. So let's just continue as if. Okay, so now we're going to feet on the brakes and we need to request taxi. Okay, back to clearance. And let's just get rid of the checklist for a minute. Request taxi IFR.
Heathrow ground EasyJet 112 tree with India ready to taxi IFR.
EasyJet 112 tree taxi to and hold short of runway 27 right via taxiway Kilo Bravo Lima 21 Alpha Alpha tree Alpha 2 cross runway 27 right Alpha 1. Contact tower on 118.705 when ready.
taxi to and hold short runway 27 right using taxiway Kilo Bravo Lima to 1 Alpha Alpha Tree Alpha 2 cross runway 27 right Alpha 1 Easy Jet 112 Tree.
Okay, so let's go to ground services and request pushback. So feet on the brakes.
Heathrow ground Easy Jet 112
Heart brake goes off.
pushback.
Easy Jet 112 tree pushback request accepted.
Nose light goes to taxi, not takeoff. Parking brake goes off. Let's get back in the cockpit, see what's going on. Okay. So let's just have a look from the air, see where we are. So we are going to facing there, so we want to, that's where we're going to there. Right, okay, so we want to come out. Sorry about the noise, I know it's loud. Push back to the right. Push back steer to the right.
Ground Easy Jet 112
Parking brakes are
pushback
off.
to steer the aircraft to the right.
Easy Jet 112 tree, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
Oh yeah. Okay, push back to the right. Brakes, flight controls check. Weather radar managed. Let's just set the QNH because that might have changed. Engine instruments, check the engine. All looking good. Yeah. And sorry, no, that goes loud. Autopilot is set. Auto throttle. That will come on in a minute. Cabin check, brake pedals, brake temperatures, brake fan goes off if need be. And so now we want to push back straight.
Heathrow ground Easy Jet 112 tree requesting pushback tug to push the aircraft straight.
Easy Jet 112 tree, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
Okay,
Heathrow ground Easy Jet 112 tree
Pushback
requesting
stop.
the end of pushback.
landing lights
Easy
go
Jet
on.
112 tree request to end pushback
Runway turn
received.
off lights go on. Takeoff config. Weather system goes to. Oh no, what's happened here? Let's get the park brake on. This is not a good start. Okay, so I suspect. Let's take the park brake off, see what's happening. Yeah, so we need to make sure that we're set at idle. Good plan. Back to clearance. Let's just have a look how bad this is from the air. Oh my. Okay. How funny. Okay, it was going so well. Well, not so well, but it was going. Takeoff config. So we need to make sure that the weather is switched over. Takeoff config. We'll bring terrain radar, bird strike check. Departure, we're going to brief that. So we're going to take off, watch the speed for, I think it was 142. And if we don't get the speed, we're then power back and come to a halt on the runway and turn off as soon as possible. Right, so we need to get the packs off. Packs go off. Strobe light goes on. Nose goes to takeoff. Transponder goes to TRA and on. Transponder, rudder trim reset, stick, and we're ready to taxi. So this is good. Okay, so right, we're going to have to just pull off here. So right, okay, so brakes go off. Okay, so we need to be a little bit of power. Okay, so let's have a little bit of power. There we go. So just trimming just a little bit of the grass. So we were Bravo, Kilo, Alpha, and then Lima. So this is this here. And let's tune to the tower. So we cross at Kilo. So that's Kilo by the look of it. Yep. And come round to Alpha. Oh no. See, that's what happens when someone phones you and you haven't put your phone to silence. Oh god, this is terrible. Promise to improve. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so you want to be about, there we go. Right, so there. And we can follow Lima all the way down. So a bit of a shaky start there for a moment or so, but right, okay. Right, let's get the radio. So if we tune the tower, okay, so I think this is our entry. If we hold here, which I think was our instructions to hold at Alpha 3. Crest takeoff clearance, there we go.
Heathrow Tower EasyJet 1123 ready for IFR departure runway 27 right.
EasyJet 1123 hold short runway 27 right. Traffic is generic on final.
Okay, so we've been asked to hold, so
Hold
we will
short
do that.
runway 27 right EasyJet 1123.
We'll just creep forward a little bit there so we can. Okay, there's our traffic coming now. So hopefully we'll get a line up and wait.
Generic Tango Yankee Golf turn next taxiway.
That's the generic getting a bit of a turn off instruction there from the runway. Right, we can be busy doing some checks here, so just to make sure that we are good to go, let's check, always check the engines, just to make sure Yeah, ready to go. We are on idle. So hopefully...
Sierra Tango Yankee Golf, turn next taxiway.
Come on, we need a clearance. No, it's still on the runway, look.
Sierra Tango Yankee Golf, turn next taxiway. Sierra Tango Yankee Golf, contact route on 121.705.
Right, should be us now. We should...
EasyJet 1123 QNH 30.06 wind 262 at 17. Cleared for takeoff runway 27 right.
Okay, let's acknowledge the takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff runway 27 right.
So-
EasyJet 1123.
So it's 262
Going to
17.
121.705 generic Tango Yankee Golf.
So we can expect a slight crosswind from the left. Okay, good look out to the right. Final's clear. And we'll have a rolling start. Okay, engine pressures look good. Full power. Right, so slight crosswind from the left, a little bit of left aileron to counteract that into the wind. Try and keep it on the centre line, don't put too much left aileron. Rotate. Up we go. Positive rate of climb. Landing gear goes up. Also throttle and autopilot goes on.
EasyJet 1123 contact London Center on 118.475. Good day.
118.475 EasyJet Echo Zulu 101.
Right, tune on central, so where are we? So looking good. Initial climb to 6,000 feet. And then, according to our flight plan, then 4,000 feet.
London Center EasyJet Echo Zulu
Okay, coming up
101 is
to-
passing 3,300 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
Yes, and we can have flaps away. Right, on the climb out then. So, nose up 10 degrees. Thrust goes to climb. There we go. Thrust goes to climb. Gears up, flaps up. Weather radar goes tilt down. Autopilot is on. Speed check 250 knots or less. Yeah. Auto brakes are off. ATC crest vector to crest cruising altitude increase.
London Center EasyJet Echo Zulu 101. Request flight level 480.
EasyJet Echo Zulu 1015 and maintain 12,000 feet. Expect flight level 480.
Right, so what have we got there? 12,000 feet. Okay, and continue the climb. Nose light goes off.
EasyJet Echo Zulu 101. Did you hear my last transmission?
Oh, yes, we did. Acknowledge that.
Climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Expect flight level 480. EasyJet
Runway
Echo
turn
Zulu
goes
101.
off. Packs go on. Let's keep our passengers nice and cool. There we go. And anti-ice as required. Cabin crew release.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Oh. ND range goes 40. Right, let's keep an eye on the instruments. Autopilot is still engaged, and 250 knots, coming up to 10,000 feet. Speed check, climb rate, barometer set. Set barometer, it's just changed by 1 hectopascal. Okay, climbing through 10,000 feet. So now we want to go speed, Mach, and standard on the barometer. Landing lights go off. Anti-ice as required. Fasten seatbelts go off. ND range goes to 80. Speed check.
Generic Hotel Lima Sierra climb and
250.
maintain 12,000 feet.
Okay. So we are climbing to 12,000 feet. All got jolly good stuff.
Climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Generic Hotel Lima Sierra.
Alright, so
EasyJet Echo Zulu 101 climb and maintain flight level 240.
acknowledge instruction.
Climb and maintain flight
So
level
we now want to go
240
to
EasyJet
240
101.
and climb. Okay, so we might not get too much more radio for now. Let's just check that we are indeed climbing. Climbing to
Generic Hotel Echo Victor, you are
Blue
2,000
24.
feet above your assigned altitude.
Throttle is on climb.
Descend and
Altitude
maintain
is
7,000 feet.
on.
QNH 30.06.
And we're creeping up probably to Mach.
Generic Hotel Lima Sierra, you are 1,700 feet above your assigned
Right.
altitude. Descend and maintain 12,000 feet. QNH 30.06.
Alright, on our way to cruise, so all looking good.
Descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Generic Hotel Echo Victor.
Descend and maintain 12,000 feet. Generic Hotel Lima Sierra.
Right, I will be back with you shortly.
EasyJet Echo, Zulu 101 climb, and maintain flight level 350. EasyJet Echo, Zulu 101, please acknowledge. Generic Hotel Echo Victor, please expedite your descent 7,000 feet. Generic Hotel Lima Sierra, please expedite your descent 12,000 feet. EasyJet Echo, Zulu 101, did you hear my last transmission? EasyJet Echo, Zulu 101, did you hear my last transmission? Generic Hotel Echo Victor, please expedite your descent 7,000 feet. Generic Hotel Lima Sierra, please expedite your descent 12,000 feet.
Right, okay, so how are we doing then? Under control. EasyJet other flight plans been cancelled. I don't want my flight plan cancelled.
Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. Good day.
I wonder why it's done that. What?
Generic Hotel Echo Victor, please expedite your descent 7,000 feet.
Maybe it was because I didn't reply to something.
Generic Hotel Lima Sierra,
Oh
please
well.
expedite your descent 12,000 feet.
So what we'll do then, let's get the AI
London
guy.
Center EasyJet Echo Zulu 101 is type Airbus A320 and 5 miles south of Fairford, flight level 235. Request flight following.
I don't know why that's done that.
EasyJet Echo, Zulu 101 London Center. Squawk 7054.
Alright, so how are we doing? We are 24,000 feet. We're on Mac. Let's just check that we are lever controlled. Yep, that's good. That's that bit there. Otherwise, things just generally fall to pieces if we don't get that right. Right, so don't like the look of that. What's happening there? Oh, okay, that's the APU, that's fine. So what we can do is call up the engine there. So far so good. Right, now this is quite a short flight. So what we can do, let's just go back and let's get, okay, there's some information. Should you want to follow me on some other stuff? And let's get the overlay going. Okay, so that doesn't look like it's working, so let's overlay, open overlay.
Manchester Center EasyJet Echo Zulu 101 flight level 240.
EasyJet Echo Zulu 101 Manchester
Let me
Center.
just go into the overlay. Fresh. Done. That's a shame. Don't know why that's not working. Okay. So we can't have the overlay today. Oh, what a shame. Okay. So clearly the radio is a little bit tetchy, so what we can do is just detune it a bit and then switch that over, and we'll just fly this without the comms. Okay, so we're in the cruise, so we check the engines, comms, nav, fuel check. We could have a look at the fuel just to make sure that we are what we expect. Fuel, there we go. Okay, all good. Nav accuracy, we can check that on the MCDU. Program, I think it is. Nav accuracy is within 7 nautical miles. Right, while we're here, what we need to do is pull up right, okay, so we're currently over Gloucester, and what we need to do is have a look at our arrivals. We are coming in on the 2X arrival. Okay. And our approach is Ils runway 2L. Yeah, that's good. So let's have a look at the charts list. So our arrival is the Dublin. Let's just check this. So flight plan, let's click our way through this. Lampo, yep, so we're going to come in on Lampo. So let me just pin that. And our approach is going to be ILS runway 28. Okay, so that's quite straightforward. So Lampo then. Right, see if I can bring this up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about here. Yeah, I don't know, that's a bit annoying why the overlay's not working. I'm going to shut that down and start it again. It'll probably crash the sim, so let's hope it doesn't. There you go. So let's have a look. So we want to be EGLL GIDW and okay. There we go. So we've got some numbers on the screen as well. Jolly good. Right. So what we want to do is have a look at. So we want to be 7,000 feet at Sivna. There. So what I do is go to the MCDU, and in program I put in Sivna. So SIVNA and pop that in there. So we've got 127 miles to run, and we need to be 7,000 feet exactly for Sivna. Okay, so what I then do is go to the flypad. So check the height, 24,000 feet. And I go here and I say, right, sync the altitude. Target altitude is 7. Okay, don't know why that's not working. There we go, 7. And let's do a standard 3-degree descent. Do that. 53 nautical miles it's telling me. So let's go back to the MCDU, and I know when we're 53 nautical miles away from Sivna, Cibna, we need to start a standard descent to 7,000 feet. So we can go here, and we are going to turn that to 7,000 feet. Okay, and so we can see where Cibna is, so we can kind of guess that at 50 miles, so which is quite handy. So that's good. So we're ready to go for that. Fantastic. Right. Okay. So nav position is good. Cabin temperature. So let's. I'm going through my cruise checks here. So it's a bit hot in the cockpit. Let's turn that down. What happens if we press that? Okay. Alright, so we're in the cruise, we're looking good, everything seems to be what it should be. What we can do, because there is always something to do, is pull up the checklist. We can start to think about what we're going to be doing in terms of the approach. So we go to the MCDU and go back to the ATSU AOC menu and get a weather request. So we can delete that one now, so we can clear that, because clear, get rid of EG out and get a weather request just for Dublin now. We still got the other one on the printer. I don't think I pulled it off the printer, did I? Okay, let's just go back to the MCDU, and we can go back to the OC menu, receive messages. Okay, so we've got a new one. Let's print that. Let's pop that there. And, okay, so we can go to the 5. So basically we can start to set up the approach. So we go to performance, next phase, cruise, which is good. Let's just go back actually and check how far we are. We got 48 miles to run, so we're doing good, but it's all going to happen fairly quickly. Right, so performance, set up the next phase. So we're going to QNH is at 1019. So we'll pop that in. Temperature is 17. And now we can have a look at the Ils chart, and the missed altitude is so what are we saying here? So minimums. Where is it? What is it? Oh, decision height on Cat 3. We'll go Cat 1 is 400. So I think I keep getting this wrong, but I think we do 400 and we put that on the radio as 400. I think. Not sure. So the wind, let's put that in then. Let's have a look at the cockpit just to make sure everything is as expected. Autopilot's on. Back to this, and the wind is going to be 270 knots. So it's 270/10, and we enter that in there. Transition altitude. Let's have a look. It's probably 10,000 feet. 5,000 feet. So 5, 1, 2, 3. Transition altitude there, 5,000 feet. So that's done. That's all looking good. Now we need to go to the rad nav, and we need to make sure we've got the ILS temperature is 111.35. That's good. And we can put in the Dublin VOR 114.9. Okay, and our course will be 278 degrees. So pop that in there, and let's just go back and just check we've got VOR1 engaged. Right, so we're pretty much set up for landing. Let's go back and just check, see how we're doing on our distance. So we've got about 29 miles to run before we start the descent. Right, so we've done the approach configuration, done the missed go around altitude. So the go around altitude is 3,000 feet. So I always get this a bit confused. Approach, go around. Data.
Going to 130.015 generic Lima Victor Charlie.
Next phase. Go around. Right, I need to look into that. Not sure why my brain's not working for this. That's fine. Let's go back to flight plan. Right, so 21 miles to go now until we start our descent. Quite busy. We're busy. Right, so we've got haven't done the go around actually, need to the approach speed. Right, let's just have another look at that. So we need to be 230 knots at Sivna. Okay, so we're going to come down to 230 knots, and then we're going to go to Lampu and 3,000 feet at 180 knots. Okay, so quite happy with that. So we've got the VORs set up. Right, let's check the program just to make sure. So what we can do actually is
Manchester Center, generic golf, Foxtrot Golf, Lima Sierra,
61 to go. So about 10 miles until we start our descent. But we can probably bring in our so you can see there, Sivna, where we need to be 7,000 feet. We've got a couple here that we need to watch as well. So when that Sivna gets to about middle here, that will be pretty much when we want to start descending. So look at the program. It's a 53, didn't it? Okay, let's start our descent down. Okay. Right, let's go and have a look at the flight plan. So we are currently at 19 miles, and we should be down to 16,500.
Cleared through Charlie airspace, EasyJet Echo Zulu 101.
Hotel Kilo, Quebec. Please expedite your climb flight level 280.
So everything seems to be going rather spiffingly. So we got, where are we? We're on our way down to 7,000 feet, 7,000 blue. And by Dublin, which is coming up, we need to be less than 18,000 feet. So let's bring that in so we can see. So we've got about 10 miles to run, and we are currently 8,000 feet, so looking good. So radio nav is set, cruise, so I don't need to use the top of descent calculator. So top of descent, which we haven't done yet, we need to set the to below for the TCAS. ATIS we've checked. Well, we've got the weather anyway. NTS we don't need. Just check the thrust is set to idle. Otherwise these, yeah, so it's controlled, but we are set at idle. Nav accuracy, that would be good to check. So we can check program. Still 0.07 nautical miles. That's good. Barometer coming below 5,000 feet. Transition height we'll set to 1019. In fact, what we'll do, we'll get the weather again. Never a bad thing to do. Just to see if it's changed. So we were 1019, 27010. Go back to the AOC menu and wait for messages. So we're mid-Irish Sea at the moment. So 27011 knots and 1019. So happy with that. Broken at 2,400 feet. So happy to continue with the weather, and let's just check how we're doing on 13,000 feet. So we need to be 9,000 feet by Ikram, so that should be fine by then. Coming up to Lipko, we'll need to be 240 knots. So we'll put the speed, and we'll change from Mach. So as soon as we go past Ikram, we'll bring us down to 240.
Airbus Hotel Kilo Quebec, please expedite your climb flight level 280.
Right, well, I've got a little bit of time. Let's just have a look at the taxi instructions for airport.
Manchester Center Airbus Delta.
So we'll
Alpha
add
Golf Kilo Uniform Flight Level 290.
Airbus Delta, Alpha Golf Kilo Uniform Manchester Center, continue as planned.
So we'll pin that so that we've got the right. So are we 9,000 feet by this point coming up? It's going to be tight. We need to be greater than 9,000 feet.
Airbus
That's
Hotel
fine.
Kilo Quebec, please expedite your climb flight level 280.
Yep, 9,700.
Airbus Golf Kilo
Right,
Uniform,
so
please expedite your climb flight level 290.
we need to bring the speed back to 240. So you see the nose come up there. To slow us down, and slowing down, we can see there coming down to 240. ND range goes to 40 miles. Got that brought in a little bit at the moment.
EasyJet Echo Zulu 101, contact Shannon Center on 132.15. Good day. Airbus
So
Hotel
we're
Kilo
9,000
Quebec,
feet.
please expedite your climb flight level 280.
132.15 EasyJet Echo Zulu 101. Shannon Center EasyJet Echo Zulu 101 9,000 feet.
EasyJet Echo Zulu 101 Shannon Center QNH
Right,
30.09
so
continue to Peacock as
we
planned.
need to be 7,000 by Peacock. So I might be just a bit too high for this actually. Yeah, I missed that one. So I've increased the descent rate for this. Bring us down. And now we also need to bring the speed down to 230.
EasyJet Echo Zulu 101 contact Dublin approach on 119.
230 is the target.
Good day.
Going to 119.55.
Okay, so I'm going to be
EasyJet Echo Zulu 101. Dublin approach EasyJet Echo Zulu 101 7,400
right.
feet.
Radios check. Right, we need to below 10,000 feet. Seatbelts go on. Landing lights go on. Speed check. Well, we know that. Engine mode. We need to check that we are in normal. Descent rate. ND range comes down to 10. Cabin crew 10 minutes. Barometer set. So flight plan. So next one is 3,000 feet. So let's get ready to set this to 3,000 feet. As we go past Sivna. A bit cloudy actually, can't really see too much. we are, most of this last bit is actually over the sea, so coming up past Sivna now, and we'll descend down to 3,000. And now we need to bring the speed down to 180 knots. Okay, so we need to get the landing system on. Right, APU is required, spoilers armed, which is up. Flaps as required, so coming up on first flap point soon. So we are 180 knots and descending to 3,000 feet. So far, so good. Okay, nav ILS is on, so we'll get back overhead. Taxi lights go to TO. Runway turn off lights go on. Locators on. ILS check. Cabin check. So let's just see how we're doing. How many miles to run? So once we start to see the other identifier for the ILS come in, we'll get the approach. Oh, there you go. So we might as well put the approach on. And we're now below 5,000 feet, so we go back to QNH. So all that work we did setting up the approach before, this is all starting to pay off now. Okay, autopilot approach goes on, flaps set, so we can probably there you go, flap one. We were coming dangerously slow there without the flaps on, so we got the blue S there, that's good. Oh, we need to be coming down to 3,000 feet. So yeah, we're on our way, but it's going to be tight. And then what we'll do, we'll come down to 2,500 feet. Okay, so we're looking to see so our next one will be 2,500 feet. Which will make the turn. Look at that. almost on the money. 3,000 feet for Lambu and 180 knots. Right, Mr. Approach, FMA flaps check. Once we get the turn, we'll get the second stage of flaps out. Once we've got 10 miles to run. Okay, what a lovely evening. Beautiful evening. I want you to know that I'm definitely not drinking a glass of wine whilst in charge of this machinery. Flaps check speed managed, so let's go speed managed now. Down to 2,500 feet. Oh no. Why is it doing that? We need to get some more flaps out. I might have made a mistake there. Bit more flap. Yes. Bit of air brake. Okay.
2,500.
So glide slope is there. To 160. Alright, so auto thrust check on, gear down, always a good one to check. Flaps set full. Park brake is off, decision height, and check we're stable. Definitely stable.
1,000.
And we'll take the autopilot off at 500 feet on the radio altimeter.
Dublin Tower EasyJet Echo Zulu 101 is 3 miles east, 800 feet with Yankee to land.
EasyJet Echo, Zulu 101 Dublin Tower. QNH 30.09er with 275 at 19er. Make straight in runway 28 left.
500.
EasyJet Echo,
Autopilot is
Zulu
off.
101 follow the aircraft on final.
400.
With 275 at 19er. Clear to land runway 28 left.
300.
Make straight in runway 28 left EasyJet Echo Zulu 101.
EasyJet Echo, Zulu 101 go around.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
EasyJet Echo, Zulu
Retard.
101 you are not cleared to land.
Retard.
Clear the runway.
Well, that was a bit
EasyJet Echo,
bit of a shaky landing, to say the least.
Clear the runway.
Still on auto. Reverse
Major
thrust.
Echo, Zulu 101,
Okay.
contact ground on 121.8.
121.8 EasyJet Echo Zulu 101.
Well, we made it, didn't we? It's all that matters. Okay. The problem is I still haven't got the reverse thrusters set up properly, and I need to do that. So, right, reverse thrust off, auto brake goes off, which is chrono stop. Spoilers are disarmed, and down. Flaps go up. Auto brake off. Taxi nose light is goes. Landing lights go off. Back in the cockpit. Slow down just a little bit. So we're going to come off the junction after next. Runway turn off, lights go off. Strobe goes auto off. Just too fast on this speed. Okay. Assist goes off. Oh, come on. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. So TCAS goes standby. And so does the ILS goes off, transponder clear, trim goes neutral. Where do we park? Okay. APU master goes on and APU start. Okay, so we're going to park somewhere here. This looks promising. Park brake goes on, thrust lever goes idle. I need to sort that out because there's something wrong with the calibration of my thrust lever. Engine master goes off. Engine 2 goes off. Fasten seatbelts goes off. Continue. Goes off. Beacon goes off. Oh. Chocks required. So can we do that on the fly pad? I thought we could call chocks, but we can't. So taxi lights go off. Right, we've already done that. So nav logo lights go off. Ground power we want. Bridge stairs required. External power goes on. Fuel pumps all off. Probe window heat goes off. Anti-ice and APU goes off. We've got ground power now. Flight directors go off. Co-pilot as well. Instruments off. APU off. Check. APU is off. Strobe lights go off. No smoking goes off. Come on. Batteries go off. Batteries go off. Packs go off. And bleed air goes off. We didn't actually have that. Avionics go off. External power goes off. That is us. We have made our way to Dublin. Let's just clear the checklist for next time. Well, I think there's a lot to do really to actually get a flight as it should be, but lots of things to go through, and hopefully aside from the landing and a bit of taxiing, it wasn't too bad. So hopefully if you do watch this, don't forget to subscribe, and that will be great, and I'll keep going. Thank you.